my lovely people, and welcome to Owen's Mind, a light-hearted trip through the contents of my head and the world in general. This is Sunday the 22nd of December. My name is Owen, and here is what is on my mind today. So, happy Sunday to you. Last one before Christmas. Hope you're having a good weekend, that everything's going your way. I'm having a pretty good weekend. Just, standard stuff. All my Christmas shopping was all done a couple of weeks ago, so it's been a nice kind of relaxing run-up to the festive season for me. So, let's get this out of the way for the last time on camera. Advent calendar chocolate today is Christmas pudding, and as usual, chocolate, so good. So, you know the drill. I've picked out 5 stories making the headlines I want to give my thoughts on. Links will be in the descriptions below, so you can read each article in full and show the original publication some love. So, without any further ado, I know this is distracting, like I say, it's the last time. When I started, I thought, it'd be a fun thing. No, it just puts a big gap in the video. So, story number 1. And story number 1 today comes to us from The Guardian. Dog's dinner, Labrador has emergency surgery after eating 30 Christmas decorations. So yeah, an important story I think this time of year. So yeah, a 7-year-old Labrador has undergone 2 life-saving operations after gorging on more than 30 homemade gingerbread Christmas tree decorations. Dog's owner, Rachel Bulmer from Bournemouth, rushed her pet Marley to the PDSA pet hospital in the Dorset town after it became seriously ill. Vets performed emergency surgeries on Marley to remove ribbons attached to the biscuits. Bulmer, 37, said, "I've been baking gingerbread tree decorations. I left them in gift bags on the Christmas counter side ready to give them as treats. I thought I'd left them safely out of reach, but when I noticed someone gone, I instantly knew who'd taken them." Over the years, Marley's been no stranger to eating things he shouldn't, and usually they pass through, but this time he started acting strangely. It looked like he was going into shock. He was violently sick and brought up some of the ribbon. During the operations, which lasted 3 hours, the vets managed to remove 34 decorative ribbons which had been attached to the tree decorations and which were causing a potentially fatal blockage. They also found that Marley had swallowed a number of bones, which also became lodged in his stomach. PDSA senior vet Effie Clancy said it was a lengthy, high-risk surgery. Marley's chances of surviving the night were looking poor, so he was transferred to out-of-hours provider vets now so he could be cared for overnight. Thankfully, he pulled through but needed critical round-the-clock care for 4 days before he could go home. Marley has now been brought home for strict cage rest and is beginning to recover. The treatment cost more than £2,000, paid for by public donations. Clancy said it is important that owners make sure decorations and toxic Christmas foods are safe from curious paws, as they can be incredibly harmful to our pets. So yeah, just be aware. That's my main thought on this story, and the reason I've kind of put it up there is anybody who's got pets and that, and if you put anything edible on the tree, because we love decorating the trees, and sometimes you have like edible chocolates and things on, and candy canes and stuff, and anything cats and dogs can get into, they will. They don't have the sense to know. Dogs don't have the sense to know that chocolate is potentially fatal for them. They have to have carob and that kind of thing. And in this case, there's going to be some people who come down hard on the owner. She said, she bagged them up and she moved them to where she thought the dog couldn't reach them. She knows her pet very well, but sadly in this case, he found a way, and the amount of ribbons they recovered, it sounds like he just gorged himself on them. But she did the responsible thing. She noticed he was ill, straight to the vet, and they saved his life. And so just be aware of this kind of thing, guys. Thank heavens he's going to recover. But yeah, just this time of year, because at Christmas you're going to have a lot more people in houses. There's going to tends to be just a lot more food about in general, because over Christmas you have your big Christmas dinner, but then you tend to graze, and then Grandad will fall asleep and he'll put his plate down next to him on the thing. And again, if you've got pets in the house, just be aware of where they're at and where food is at, and that. Because again, if you have things like, if you've got a big family do and you put like a bit of a spread on, and you've got sausages on sticks and that kind of thing, if they're left on a plate and a dog goes, "Ooh, sausage," and doesn't notice there's a cocktail stick in it, just things like that. So again, just watch out for your pets. Obviously, watch out for everybody, but pets in general, because they don't have the sense to recognise a danger. Like in this sense, he just thought, treats, biscuits. I can reach them, so they've got to be for me, even though the owner put them to where she thought was a safe distance from Marley. But thankfully, hopefully he'll be a bit wiser after this experience, and he's going to be okay, which is good. So yeah, public service announcement, just be aware, glad Marley's going to be okay. And let's hope that everybody else keeps their pets safe over Christmas too. Okay, moving on to story number 2. Oh, spoons is in the news again. I did one about Wetherspoons the other day, but they're back in the Daily Mirror. Wetherspoons customers angry by Monday Club drink deal scrapped before Christmas. Yes, so I wasn't aware of this, but pub giant Wetherspoon has angered drinkers by scrapping a cut price drinks promotion ahead of Christmas. The pub chain run by Brexit backing businessman Tim Market. Why do they always, when they talk about spoons, they put that he backs Brexit? A lot of people did. I don't know why that has any bearing on the story, but there you go. Anyway, it suspended its popular Monday Club when it reduces prices to attract more customers on Mondays. Instead of discounting drinks, the full prices apply in the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas. One drinker was furious when he was charged £7.60 for 2 pints of Foster's Lager at a Waterhouse pub in Manchester City last Monday. He normally pays around £5. He said, so much for the season of goodwill. Tim Martin seems to think it's good business practice to increase prices for customers at Christmas. Given his vocal support for Brexit and his recent boast about creating 10,000 new jobs, I think customers should be reminded of his business strategy. Wetherspoon has said it will invest $200 million in new pubs and hotels, as well as enlarging existing ones and create 10,000 jobs. Spoon spokesman Eddie Gershon said the Monday Club is available throughout the year, apart from 4 weeks in the lead up to Christmas. We appreciate that customers will be disappointed that the Monday Club and its prices are not available at this time. However, we believe our prices are a great value throughout the year. We also have a January sale across our pubs from the start of the year. Right, so they've made a statement saying we understand they'll be disappointed, but they've not given any reason for them doing it. And let's face it, the reason is because you're going to get so many more people through the door in that month up to Christmas. So it's not just Christmas Eve, it's Christmas parties and office parties and people meeting up, and getting together for a few drinks. And you're more likely to get people in on a Monday night than you ordinarily would because it's a school night. But yeah, this coming Monday, a lot of people will not be working Christmas Eve, so Monday will be their last day at work, so they can go out and cut loose a little bit. And that fact that they've suspended this without giving any particular reason does seem a bit shady, doesn't it? They're saying they offer great prices all year round. I don't know. I just think for this kind of thing, you shouldn't take this away. Either don't do it, but don't take it away at a time of year when people are short of money and they are going out railroad, because it's bad PR. Yeah, they're going to make a lot of extra money, but they're going to create a lot of bad press. Just my opinion. I'm no businessman. If they're going to invest $200 million in pubs and hotels, here's a thought: put the gents' toilet in the same postcode as the pub. Because any guys who watch this will know that if you're a woman and you go to a Spoons, you're sorted. Your toilet is right on the bottom floor usually. The gents one, they con you. This is what they do. So they'll have a toilet. They'll have the ladies' door with the ladies' sign on it, and the gents door with the gents' sign. I imagine if you open the ladies' one, it goes straight into the ladies' toilet. You open the gents' one, and you open it, and there'll be a staircase. All right, so I'll go up this staircase. There'll be a landing, then another staircase, a landing, and another staircase. And before you know it, you need oxygen because of the altitude you're at. And then all of a sudden you get to the very top, crawl on your hands and knees, and it's like, oh, those are your urinal, fantastic. So if you ever go to a Spoons and you need the loo, you need to kind of ring ahead and say, right, I'm probably going to need a toilet in about 20 minutes. So I'll set off now, lads. I'll see you back here in about an hour. Just go for a pee. But there you go. But yeah, in all seriousness, things like this, it's just... If you could give us, most people are, there is always going to be some people who just think they deserve more, they deserve a better deal, they deserve a cheaper price, whatever it happens to be. Most people are, if you give them a compelling reason why a price has changed, they'll accept it. They might not be happy about it, but they'll accept it. The fact that the statement put out just says, we appreciate customers were disappointed that Monday Club and its price is not available at this time. However, and you think, right, here's the explanation. No, they've said, we believe our prices are great value throughout the year and also have a January sale. And well, that doesn't tell us why you've changed this. So it comes across like the reason you haven't said that is because your reason is because you want to make more coin in December. So anyway, there you go. Let's move on, shall we? So story number 3. This is in the Mirror today. This is not a happy story, I'm afraid, but UPS driver worked to death after a 12-hour shift delivering 240 Christmas parcels. Yeah, this is a gentleman. So UPS driver collapsed and died at a depot after working grueling shifts delivering hundreds of parcels a day in the weeks leading up to Christmas, his friend has said. So Paul Crush, 42, died after suffering a suspected heart attack at a UPS depot in Stamford le Hope in Essex on Wednesday. According to pals, the dad of two had been working punishing shifts, delivering 240 Christmas parcels a day. One friend even said he was worked to death, as his wife Tracy, 40, is said to be beside herself with grief. Well, you would be. Paul from Chelmsford, Essex, was a dad to a daughter 8 and a 4-year-old son, and earned around 30,000 a year working for the logistics firm. Workers usually deliver around 100 parcels a day, but the Christmas rush saw this figure more than double over the past 6 weeks. Mr. Crush's pal told the Sun, I saw him having coffee before he started his shift. He looked tired and he said he'd been struggling for him to get out of bed, but he was as cheerful as ever. That was his problem. He was the kind of guy who would never say no to extra work. He'll have died of natural causes, but his mates who knew him think he's been worked to death. UPS said in a statement, we are deeply saddened by the loss of our fellow UPSer. Our thoughts with his family, friends and colleagues. A GoFundMe page has been set up to raise funds for Mr. Crush's family. And a statement on the page reads, following the tragic loss of Paul Crush, who leaves behind his lovely wife Tracy, daughter 8 and son 4, we'd like to start a collection to ease the pressure on the Crush family, perhaps assist with funeral costs or just treat the children, whatever may help. Please give us little or as much as you can afford. Thank you. Alright, so this story I think we need to tread carefully here. His friends have said he's worked to death, but in their own words, he'll have died of natural causes. A 40-year-old gentleman having a heart attack is not uncommon. A company being busy up to Christmas is not at all uncommon. Where I'm working, the workload has really gone up. There just needs, first of all, it is tragic, you know. For me, I always kind of feel it more this year, stories like this, because it's so close to Christmas, and any time of the year this happens, this is horrid, let's face it. But because Christmas is supposed to be such a happy time and a family time, and it's this annual thing that rolls around, Christmas is now always going to be, this is that, Christmas, it's that time of year when we lost Paul, and hopefully his family can find a way past that, in the coming years. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, most service businesses at this time of year, anything where you are delivering stock or parcels or anything like that, you are going to see a huge bump. And a lot of companies will obviously bring more staff to kind of ease that and make sure they can meet their targets and things. But everyone is going to be busier. And this is a tragic thing, but it doesn't say anywhere in the article if Mr. Crush, if he voiced his concerns to his bosses, because chances are there's going to be another 100 people in this depot who are doing the same thing under the same pressures as him, who haven't had a heart attack. So I just, I don't want to take away anything from what this family's going through, because it is truly horrible. But it sounds almost like the company is being demonized, and almost causing it, and you're like, you've got to be very careful if you're kind of taking that position, because that's not what the article says to me. It might say it to somebody else, it might say it to you when you read it, but to me it just says, he was incredibly busy over Christmas, and he didn't, to have a heart attack delivering parcels, it's cumulative. Heart attacks do not happen to people, perfectly healthy people. I would imagine if he was that, if the article said, he'd collapsed of exhaustion and he'd had to be laid up over Christmas, that I could understand. But this, I don't know. I'm no doctor, but I just think there needs to be balance. It's a horrible thing for his family. I hope they're supported, and I hope they can get through this, because it's a terrible time for them. But I don't think the company should be attacked. And admit it, his family's not doing this. This is not a statement from this is an article kind of from his mate's perspective. And even his mate have said, look, it's natural causes, but we think he's been worked to death. So, just take caution in this kind of thing. We don't know about Mr. Crush's health in general, if there's other factors involved, if there's any kind of pre-existing medical condition. So, yeah, it's a horrible story, but it just needs to be looked at with a degree of measure, is all I'm thinking. Anyway, so from that one, condolences to the Crush family. you know, it's sad. So we're going to move on to some lighter fare anyway, but I just thought it was important. I just wanted to give some thoughts on it. So let's move on to number 4. Number 4 today comes from the Metro. It is a massive change in tonal shift. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but this is just the way the stories came up. So, bottle gobbled up by man's anus when he tried to scratch an itch. Yeah. So this is in the Metro. Patient is recovering after his anus swallowed a bottle while he was trying to relieve an itch. The man, 60, who has not been identified, surprise, surprise, insists that he was trying to scratch his anus when a cologne bottle was gobbled up inside him. He eventually went to hospital where he told doctors he had a pain in his abdomen. They investigated, and when they got to the bottom of it, they found a 2-inch wide bottle lodged firmly up his posterior. Gastroenterologist Dr. Lin Jun, who carried out the anal surgery, released pictures from the hospital in South China's Guangdong province as a warning to others not to do the same. Dr. Lin said, the patient told me my abdomen hurts, there's something inside and I can't poo or fart. The entire glass bottle was inside his rectum. I could feel the bottle under his abdomen. He said his anus was itching. He said I was very uncomfortable, so I bought a bottle of Florida water and began scratching the itch. Then the bottle accidentally went up my rectum. He added, it's better to seek medical attention and let a doctor help you than attempt to resolve a similar condition by buying tools and other such things. The patient is not expected to suffer any long-term effects apart from embarrassment. In August this year, another patient had the same issue with the same brand of cologne. They had to be anaesthetised from the waist down. A metal wire was used to hook onto the bottle before it was pulled out. So my obvious thought on this, stop shoving things up inside your body. I've done countless stories like this, and just stop it. And so this is his story. I had an itch, so I bought a bottle of water to scratch the itch. If you've got an itch, you don't buy a bottle to scratch it, because a bottle is not a good scratching tool. You would buy something that has like a more defined edge on it, because usually if you've got an itch on your face, you'll scratch it with a fingernail because it's got some purchase. A bottle is all smooth. You wouldn't do that to scratch an itch. And the bottle also has a neck. Yeah, you can see from the picture that bottle has a neck. So if you were scratching your backside with it and it accidentally slipped up, it would accidentally slip up as far as the neck, a couple of inches, at which point you would have to shove. You cannot physically slip something like that. It doesn't just, unless you've got a gaping anus, a bottle is not going to slip in it. It's going to go in so far, and even then you'd have to apply some force, I imagine. And then once it got to the shoulder of the bottle, it's like, oh no, it just kept going. My backside just swallowed it. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I understand you're embarrassed, but just own it. Just say, Doc, here's where we're at. I'm sorry. Can you get this out on me? I promise not to do it again. So, yes, if there's one piece of advice I could give you this year, from all the stories I've said, the probably overriding one is like, stop putting things inside you. It never ends well. Having said that, I get a lot of material out of it, so maybe don't. But don't do anything that's going to injure yourself. Anyway, this guy, unknown 60-year-old, red-faced and sore-bottomed, he's going to be fine, which I suppose is the main thing. But please just stop doing this kind of thing, because it just doesn't end well. And if you do have an itch, just find a better way to scratch it. If that's your story, you're sticking to it, find a better way to scratch your itch. Anyway, move on. Final story today. 50 hilarious Christmas jokes that make your holiday extra jolly. This is Best Life via MSN News. This is how it comes to us today. I just thought it'd be nice to end on a few lighter notes for the Christmas period. So Christmas is one of our favourite holidays of the entire year. Not only do we get presents, cookies and hopefully a sprinkling of snow, but we also get to hang out with friends and family at various Christmas parties and holiday get-togethers. Most of the time the conversation around these events flows smoothly, but if it doesn't, one of the best ways to break the ice is with a well-timed Christmas joke. So the article itself has rounded up 40 jolly Christmas puns, and they're kind of in the Christmas cracker tone. Now, people know that Christmas cracker jokes are terrible, and the theory is that I can't remember, I heard this, I think it was on an episode of QI, and they kind of discussed why Christmas cracker jokes are bad. Why are they a bad joke? They tend to be like a groaning joke. And what they said is because everyone is together at Christmas, jokes they can be diversive. Not everybody will get it and this kind of thing. So they said by having bad jokes in crackers, it's kind of the whole room is united against the joke because everyone will understand it and everyone will find it equally as naff essentially. So that's why Christmas cracker jokes tend to be a bit vanilla. They're a bit bland. They're a bit, you know what I mean? They're never hilarious. So that's it. So take these in that kind of tone. So I'm just going to give you 2 or 3. The article's got all the rest in, so feel free to click through. So, number 1, what do angry mice send each other in December? Cross mouse cards. What do you call people who are afraid of Santa Claus? Claustrophobic. What did Adam say on the day before Christmas? It's Christmas Eve. And what happened to the thief who stole an advent calendar? He got 25 days. So there you go. Few Christmas corny jokes for you, just for the Christmas period. So that's it today, guys. I am back on Christmas Day. I will do a Christmas Day one, just because I've got a few hours free in the morning. So I'll put something up just so it's there, just so it kind of fits my upload schedule. But for now, that's it. So links to all the stories I've discussed today can be found in the description below. So feel free to go and check them out. Let me know what you think about this video and tell me what's your favourite or your worst Christmas joke. Answers in the comments, please, along with any thoughts you'd like to share. These are mine. Not necessarily important. They're not necessarily right or wrong. They're just what was on my mind. So until next time, bye for now.